White House defending Secretary Pete Hegseth, who was under growing scrutiny after authorizing 2 strikes on an alleged drug boat. The first strike taking out the boat. Tonight, questions about the second strike, reportedly targeting 2 survivors. The Washington Post reporting Hegseth ordered his team to kill everybody on board the boat. Lawmakers from both parties asking serious questions, particularly about that second strike and what President Trump is now saying about the second strike. Here's Martha Raddatz tonight.
Tonight, the Pentagon facing accusations of war crimes after a second strike on a boat carrying suspected drug traffickers off the coast of Venezuela. This video from September 2nd shows the first hit on the boat, but tonight, questions are growing about a second missile that was fired. According to the Washington Post, it was targeting 2 survivors who were clinging to the wreckage. Tonight, members of both parties sounding the alarm, saying international law prohibits killing enemy combatants who no longer pose a threat. The Post reporting that at the outset of the operation, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had ordered his team to kill everybody on board the boat. Hegseth has called the Washington Post report fabricated, saying the military acted in compliance with the law of armed conflict. Overnight, President Trump said he didn't know anything about the second strike, adding he wouldn't have wanted it.
We'll look into it, but no, I wouldn't have wanted that, not a second strike. The first strike was very lethal, it was fine, and if there were 2 people around, but Pete said that didn't happen.
But today, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed there was more than 1 strike on the boat. She didn't confirm or deny that survivors were targeted. Leavitt saying the strikes were authorized by Hegseth and carried out by the mission's commander, Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley.
On September 2nd, Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law, directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States of America was eliminated.
ABC's Rachel Scott pressing, asking how did those 2 survivors present a threat to the U.S.?
And what imminent threat would 2 survivors pose who were clinging presumably to the wreckage of that boat?
Admiral Bradley worked well within his authority and the law.
Tonight, Democratic and Republican lawmakers demanding answers.
You know, that is against the Geneva Conventions. That's against the laws of war, which we should always be abiding by. We're the United States of America. We have to hold our people to a higher standard. This is really serious.
And David, tonight in a rare bipartisan statement, top Republicans and Democrats are vowing to get to the bottom of this and determine the facts. And while the White House defended the September strikes today, by mid-October, when another suspected drug boat was hit, the survivors were rescued and returned to their home countries. David?
Martha Raddatz live in Washington. Martha, thank you.